Hey everyone, and welcome in or welcome back. It's a Monkey Mar. Before we get into today's video, please make sure you click that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, and the like. Okay, let's get into this little nutter butter. Friday's hearing was brief. Stauch didn't speak but appeared through a video feed in a holding cell. Cameras captured her pacing back and forth throughout the entirety of the hearing. The question remains as to whether Stauch is mentally competent enough to stand trial. Before I get deeper into this article, listen to Letecia Evil Stauch and her little grunt inside the holding cell.
I see her. Okay. All right. And there's Mr. Allen. I thought I saw Ms. McKinney a minute ago.
Enough to stand trial. A judge announced Friday that answers should come about a week before the one-year anniversary of Gannon's reported disappearance. On January 22, 2019, Letecia Evil called the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and reported Gannon left their home near Colorado Springs and never returned. Police arrested Stauch March 2nd, 2020 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They found Gannon's body in Pace, Florida on March 18, 2020. Since March, Stauch has been held in the El Paso County Jail. In September, state psychiatrists told the court Stauch is competent enough to stand trial, but her attorneys asked for a second opinion. The second exam was scheduled for right before Halloween. Then a coronavirus outbreak at the jail prompted a halt in visits. Friday, Judge Gregory Werner announced he received notice that visits are allowed again at the jail. Stauch's second mental competency evaluation has been rescheduled for December 22nd, 2 days away, with results expected in the courts by January 2nd, 2021. Werner set the next hearing date for January 19th, 2021. What do you guys think? Do you think Letecia is competent to stand trial and this is all an act? Because at the end of the day, she's still a nutter butter. Something is not wired right with Letecia Evil for what she did. So I am actually going to put a survey, a poll out on my community post. See what you guys think about Letecia Evil's mental capabilities to stand a trial for the murder of Gannon Stauch. Fly high, G-Man. So here's the only thing that is new to Letecia Evil and as far as her evaluations. So the second evaluation will be done by Dr. Jackie Grimmett of Colorado Springs. State psychiatrist found her competent in the first evaluation. So the state has found her competent in the first evaluation, and now this is probably going to be the defense evaluation, and probably explains why she's acting like a complete nutter butter. I mean, listen, she's not all there. What she did to Gannon Stauch is something that is completely unthinkable. So, but as far as knowing what she did, I think she knew what she did. I think she's cold, I think she's calculated, but I also think she's a nutter butter. And then Spencer Wilson dropped a tweet about Letecia Evil's second evaluation. And he also attached the redacted minutes for Letecia Evil's upcoming evaluation. So if you want to have a look, if you want to pause it, go ahead and let's go ahead and get to the last part of this video, but definitely and not the least. Alright guys, and now I actually have recorded all of Harley Hunt's videos from TikTok, and she really is a beautiful girl, and it's sad. And let's go ahead and get into these videos. And GB had asked me to touch on this, so I figured I had an update on Letecia Stauch, so why not go ahead and end it on a positive note. Okay, these are Harley Hunt's biblical testimonies 1 through 7.
Biblical testimony with everyone, so if you're feeling lost or broken right now, please stop and watch this video. Ever since I was a little girl, I was raised up in the church, so I knew who God was. I believed in him. I believed that he died on the cross for our sins. But I just never grew that close relationship with him, so I never got to feel all of God's love for me. And when I was 12 years old, my father passed away, and this was one of the hardest times in my life. I faced so much depression and anxiety and suffering, and I just thought that I had to hold in all my feelings and emotions, so I never got help with it. I thought that I had to show the world that I was strong and that I was going to be okay, even though I wasn't. During those times, I completely lost myself, and I just started finding hope and happiness in so many of the wrong places, whether it was boys, and always thinking that I had to be in a relationship and lust just to fulfill that missing piece of my father that I never got to have. And, this really broke me. Biblical testimony part 2. And I remember the thing that hurt me the most is the fact that my last words to my father was that I hate you and to never talk to me again, because we had gotten in an argument shortly before then. And I just didn't think ever that those would be my last words, and I just took him for granted. And shortly after then, me and my family, we had found out that we're moving across the country all the way to Alaska. And I was so nervous, and she told me, Harley, God is bringing you to a place of isolation so that you can build your relationship with him and you can become closer to him without any distractions. And I remember in that moment, I just fell to the floor, and I felt so much happiness and hope again, and that everything that was going to be okay. And I was just filled with joy and overwhelmed. I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to do. I was just pouring out, crying to God. My biblical testimony part 3. So we made it to Alaska. I tried to keep positivity and hope, but we were literally in the middle of nowhere. I had no friends, nothing to do. I hated it there, my family hated it there. It just brought us all down. Finally, we were able just to move to Colorado. That brought us like some normalcy, and it just made us feel like we were family again. Everything felt so good and felt so right. I had met amazing friends. I had met an amazing guy. Life just felt so good again. I had not felt that happy in forever. And a year later, after we had moved there, one of the biggest tragedies of my life and just anything that I'll ever experience happened. My biblical testimony part 4. Do you know that saying where they say you wake up and your life has completely changed? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. I remember this day like it was yesterday. My brother had gone missing. We had no idea where he was, where he went, what happened. Shortly after, a couple months later, we found out that he had passed away. Shortly after that, my mom was arrested. I had no communication with my stepdad or my little sister and any of my family. And I had lost everything. I lost my family, my home, my belongings, my car, my job, everything. And I just had to start over by myself at 17. I didn't know where I was going to go. I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't planned for this. And I just had to figure out my way through life. And there was so many times where I just sat there and I cried out to God, like, why me? Why would you put me through this again? Why would you put me through another tragedy like this again, God? I don't understand. My biblical testimony part 5. I remember wanting to believe that this all was just a dream and that it wasn't real, and I'm just like, Harley, wake up, somebody pinched me, somebody hit me, but it was reality. It was all over news headlines, it was broadcasted all over the world. I was facing cyberbullying, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't get help. I didn't ask for help. I didn't go to therapy or anything like that. I just took all the evil things of this world, and I just thought that it would bring me happiness, but it only brought me happiness in that moment. I would still wake up and I was still facing that same problem, and I was just filled with so much sorrow and sadness. And I just remember standing in the mirror and looking at myself and having no idea who I was, because I was so far from God. And I just remember God persevering, and he was talking to me and he was telling me, Harley, you have a purpose, and I'm going to bring you through this struggle, and that you're going to be okay. Just believe in me and bring all your sorrows and burdens to me at my feet and lay them down to me. My biblical testimony part 6. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, God, I hear you. I'm listening to you, dear God, but how am I supposed to pay my bills? How am I supposed to be happy again? How am I supposed to move forward? How am I supposed to do better for myself? How am I not supposed to let this story stop me from doing all the amazing things and the things that you have planned for me. But I think the biggest things as Christians where we go wrong is that we have little faith. We have little faith in God. We don't have any trust in Him and all the things that He can do. We have no certainty. But when we have certainty in God and we trust in Him, that is when He starts moving things in our life. And that is when all those anxieties and worries just go away, because you put His full trust in Him and you completely trust in Him, and you just let Him help you. And stop thinking you can do everything on your own, because you can't. You can't do anything without Jesus. None of us can do anything without Jesus. My Biblical Testimony, Part 7. Things in our life are out of our control, and that's why we just have to bring it to God. And I want you guys to choose with me. Stop letting all these bad things that are happening in your life affect you and affecting who you are and who you can become and fulfilling that purpose that God has for you. Stop wasting those gifts that God has given you, and just give all your love to Him and follow Him and be obedient and have faith in Him, and just fill yourself with prayer and the love of God, everyone, because I'm not done writing my story and you're not done writing your story, and I believe in you, and I just want to fill you with God's love, and I just want to show you all the amazing things that He can do in your life. I love you all, and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my testimony.
I think her biblical testimony was beautiful. I think she's a beautiful girl. I feel bad for her. I feel like she has definitely been dealt a few bad hands in life. But she is sweet. She is smart. She handles herself very well. And I'll tell you, Harley, and not that she's listening, but hey, you never know. Like my dad told me, God will never give you anything that you cannot handle. You're a strong girl, pretty girl, and a lot of people pray for you. And I also think that Eugene and Landon should have Harley in their life. I mean, she did lose a stepbrother. She lost a mom. She lost her father. And it's not her fault that her mother is who her mother is. Now we wait until she gets her next evaluation on Tuesday. And then we will have to take it from there. I think she's competent. And I think she is completely nuts. I just don't get it. She had a good husband. She had a good family life, a nice home. And you just can't explain what she did. Alright guys, after I drop this video, I am going to put a poll out on the community post. I am going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for coming in. Thank you for watching. Please like or dislike, whichever you prefer, and subscribe. Everyone have a good day or a good night wherever you are in the world, and stay vigilant. I am out.